Hey everyone, welcome to the Discord podcast, and we're going to be discussing about the BLM protests with Omar, Jordy, and Josh, and your host Alex Ung.
Yes.
Yes, all right.
So,
So yeah, what has made the BLM protests so like world changing?
I mean, there's like tons of like African Americans all over the world. So, and after the deaths of multiple like people, including George Floyd, and shootings and stuff and all that, and, like, it's all really bad. So, it's gonna be spreading around the world.
I
Okay.
think the thing is that a lot of people don't like the injustice brought to this anyone. They care for for those people, and they just don't want to see more people killed than should be.
Yeah.
So yeah, how did it start at the beginning? Like what really made this protest like set off on its feet?
I think the main thing was George Floyd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
Especially this
like
year, though.
before even
Yeah.
George Floyd, before
Yeah, there have always been a lot of police killings. They've been
George Floyd
Uh,
dying, there
yeah.
was protests
African
about
Americans have
Black
been
Lives Matter.
African Americans have been murdered for a long time by police, and the Black Lives Matter protests started in like 2011, 2010.
So these protests have been
Yeah.
going on for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
they
been
were-
going on.
But
The only
new
reason
ones,
why
these new
it's
ones, these
been
2020
so
ones, is what's really going on because they are. It's one of the biggest social movements.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah, and multiple countries are actually participating in it. Like
Which
I know
is
they.
surprising for something that seems to be only really a huge issue in America.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of countries are like participating in it? 'Cause I never read
well,
anything about that.
In Europe.
Well, obviously America, because America has
Yeah,
the
especially
the biggest numbers of protests.
it's because America has their police. Their police are the ones who have been killing most people. It's there is a higher chance. It's like proportionately, a African American has I forget the statistic, but they have a higher amount of being. They have a higher chance of getting killed by police than someone else than any other race.
Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
tragedy.
All right, so I
Sorry, you cut off.
have like a source here claims that
Source. Go
Trump
ahead.
has been saying that most. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Most or Trump has been claiming that most of these protests have been mostly violent. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Mostly violent. I think
no.
that is false.
I think it's false because there's multiple like safe protests or peaceful protests.
Yeah.
But they're not brought into light. Only except the brutal ones.
The
and,
social
bad
media
ones.
only wants to
Yeah,
see the
the-
bad
yeah,
ones, but
they
in
only wanna
reality, it's all peaceful. Social media just like
They don't
they
they
don't,
don't,
they don't go one side.
don't show
They
anything
turn a
peaceful.
blind eye, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't,
that's what it is. They
doesn't
turned
give
a
them
blind
clicks,
eye.
It doesn't give them attention if it's peaceful.
Yeah,
There's,
no.
there's nothing there.
Yeah, because on this article it says that 93% of all these protests are mostly peaceful, and the other percentage are like riots and like all violent. But Trump says that they're all violent, causing like deaths and stuff. I don't know
No.
why.
No,
Yeah.
Trump
to garner
is
fear.
no.
It's to garner fear.
No.
That's not right.
Yeah, I think it's.
I mean, at least he's not like our president anymore. Thank God he's not our president.
Well, yeah.
Our own president even against it. Like he didn't even want a Black
He
Lives Matter
didn't want to
mural
acknowledge
right
it at
in front of
all.
his
You
Trump
didn't
Tower.
want to acknowledge, which is strange for such
Yeah.
a big movement that it's a problem in only America, but it reached so many other countries.
Which is obviously great because they've been
That-
struggling
yeah.
for the longest time. Then like
They've been
it's-
they've been oppressed.
yeah, they've had a
for
fight. They had a
generations.
fight for the equal rights that hasn't been like
Even they don't
Yeah.
even have them.
they don't have them still. And like this is like a movement which is towards that.
Towards their unjust killings by police.
And even on June 3rd, London had their own Black Lives Matter protest
Like,
too.
Yeah, they might have had
Yeah,
they might have had
London.
freedom, but they don't have rights still.
Yeah. Well, they don't.
Mhm.
They don't have. They
They don't have equality in between like
They don't. Yeah. They don't
Yeah.
have. They have.
Like
they still
the-
have
yeah.
this
they still get like
still
less
see them as
stuff than
inferior.
other
Yeah,
races.
they see they're seen as inferior still. They don't have,
and it's only color. It's not like
because
anything
it's
else.
because it's just because they never got any help from that. They've been poor since they got into this country.
Yeah.
They weren't helped out as slaves.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah.
So
no, you go. Yeah.
A lot of people say that the lives taken by police wouldn't have been taken if they just listened.
Yeah. If
That's
Honestly,
true.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what they say. They say that if they just didn't, if they listened, but why
But-
should the cops get the kill?
Yeah,
It-
but
it's
why?
because-
Why?
it's because police,
I just
Why-
don't get
yeah,
why they're so aggressive.
police
Why are they so? Yeah,
they use their power like unfairly, like the power that was given to them.
It's
to
like
protect them.
it's
like
like
they're abusing
corrupt.
their
It's
power.
like corrupt. They're corrupt in a way. They're corrupt in a way.
Yeah.
Towards
You say they're
towards
corrupt in a way?
colors. Yeah, they're corrupt in a way towards colors.
I mean, but it's
Yeah.
not all policemen.
Yeah, it's
too.
not all.
no, I'm
No,
not saying
not
it's
all
all
cops are
of them,
bad.
but why don't some of the other ones stop this injustice? Why won't some cops stop the injustice of other cops?
Because they don't want to face the consequences.
Yeah, maybe they just don't want to face the
They
consequences.
maybe don't want.
And
Have you guys seen the video of George Floyd?
Yeah.
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 The
I
one,
saw the video and it was like so bad. Like you're
he
not
was-
even
he was-
supposed to do that.
He was
You're-
pleading
Yeah, I
for
know.
his life. He was
Exactly.
pleading for his life the whole time.
in general, you're not supposed to knee somebody's head to the ground.
Yeah,
You can't do that. That's over. That's over. Like
that's overkill. Yeah, especially just he was obviously fearing. He was scared of them. That why should someone have to be scared of the person who is supposed to protect them?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a very
That's
good
true.
point. Very good point.
Because the cops are supposed to like
They're supposed to protect.
protect and
yeah.
serve, but now they're
But not strike fear into citizens.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention this before, but I saw a video where there was like this incident, okay, where
Mhm.
like a black man taking care of like an autistic like patient or something, like in the street. They were like going somewhere. I forgot
Yeah.
some of the details. I'm sorry about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the cops were like pointing guns at him for virtually like no reason. They think like they had a gun, even though he didn't have a gun after the problem was resolved.
Why? Yeah.
And-
Why?
and
Oh, I've seen that.
once
It was
once
it was
once the
really
cop
messed up.
once yeah, and the man was pleading and he was saying like the autistic patient the autistic patient wasn't like going down on the ground and raising his hands in the air, and he kept saying to the cop that he has a toy like train in his hand, all right, and the other guy's just on the ground. He has his hands up, nothing's going on, and then all of a sudden it just I'm like, it's not in the video, or it's not like shown, but he says it. He gets shot out of nowhere from a cop, and then he asks the cop why he shoots him, and the cop says, "I don't know."
Dude,
Wow.
Wow.
I seen that
What?
video.
Why
He
do
legit
you
was
think
laying
that
down.
cops are so eager to shoot a lot like
No.
African American people as opposed to them
Yeah.
shooting?
You know what's
And
messed
then,
up?
yeah,
I seen
he
that video
didn't- he
too,
didn't-
Alex.
Yeah, he didn't have a gun like at all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nothing was on him besides
Why
maybe
do
like a.
you think they're so eager to shoot?
You know what? He was legit. He was laying down on the floor with his arms spread out and his legs spread out. His whole body was spread out, and he just got shot for nothing.
Yeah,
It
it's
was a messed up video.
Yeah.
And I have a quote right here. It says they're using chemical areas such as tear gas and pepper spray and kinetic impact projectiles. It might seem that kinetic impact projectiles are not even that hard, but they can make people like blind and all that, and they hit them in the eye.
Yeah.
apparently most police don't see police brutality as a problem.
What? Really?
They don't see brutality as a problem. 30% of police officers don't see.
Oh no,
brutality
that's
as a
a
problem.
big issue.
Yeah, that's a big no.
That's
a big
yeah.
no-no.
They say that police brutality and racism isn't a real problem.
Clearly is if like it
It
clearly
really is.
is. It clearly is though.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. They're not even acknowledging
I'm just
it.
I don't even
Like,
know like what to say to that, because that's like what are they thinking?
Honestly, like I would like what goes through their head, like to pull a trigger on somebody who's unarmed and they're doing nothing. I mean,
like if his hands are in the air, you know, like there's no reason for you to shoot. Okay, he can't do anything. His hands are in the air. Everyone's like, you know, pointing lasers at him. Right? There's nothing he could do. All right. But if he makes a movement, then you could probably do it. But if you just shoot him while his hands are up in the air, that's a huge issue right there.
Yeah. So why are you so eager to shoot black lives as opposed to white ones?
Because
I mean, to be honest, most crimes are mostly committed by Black African American men.
Yeah.
Statistics show that.
That gets down a whole rabbit hole of yeah. So
the whole issue is about Black lives, because all lives can't. People say all lives matter, right? But that's a counter protest.
Yes, it's a counter protest.
We get all lives matter, okay? But the lives that matter the most currently is the Black lives, because
it is used to shut off Black lives matter by basically saying that all lives matter. Or there's like they basically.
But we don't have it as hard as they do. Clearly.
Of course, yeah. So.
Because all lives can't really matter until Black lives do.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So, on police side, so I watched a video called "Conversations with the Police." And it's by a man named Emmanuel, and his channel is called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. I watched this last night, and Emmanuel asked one of the police officers what he thought about the killing of George Floyd, and he said that he was devastated, and what other police do around the world reflects on them too. It reflects on their image to protect themselves. And so the police officer says that he has to be more careful when approaching a black man now.
You cut off.
Because people pull out phones, record everything, you know how it is, social media.
Yeah.
Oh, I cut out? Oh, okay, so where was I at then? Where did I stop at? Where did you
before the phone.
Okay, so people pull out their phones to like record and everything. Because you know how social media is.
It sounds like the cop wants there to be less restriction on what they can do.
Exactly. He was also talking about how he has to approach black men more carefully than white men or white people, or because of all the stuff that's happening nowadays, and it scares him. He says that it's scares him to be a police officer at this time, and he was talking about how he might actually resign for being an officer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's
about people wanting to abolish the police.
Honestly, abolishing police is okay. I don't think it's a good idea because we do need law enforcement around the world. I mean, without law enforcement, there's just crime rates go sky high. So I just feel like police or their privileges should be, how do I say this? Lowered. They should be more careful. Yeah.
They shouldn't be seen as such like a high rank. They should be seen as normal people.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how law enforcement is now. They give police officers too much power, and they use that power.
They get power only.
Like a militia.
They treat them like a potential threat.
A threat.
No, police are like they think they're better than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
They think that they think that because they enforce the law, they're above it.
Yeah, because they have the title.
Just because they have a gun and a title and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and training.
Which they don't actually. Police in America don't have as much training as they do in other countries, which is probably why our police brutality is so high.
That's true, because legit, their training is like 8 months. It's 8 months. It should be like a couple years.
Yeah.
It's like that's military and all that. They should train against every single scenario and everything instead of 8 months. Because legit, if it's 8 months, you just want the badge and that's it. They should be like devoted to actually like
Yeah, they should.
protecting and
Yeah,
serving the
you
community.
should have 8 months like at like the lowest type of like role or
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
and then like if you
Like,
want if you want like something higher like something higher like role, then you should have like more time into it, more training.
like 2 years or like a year and a half because
Like 8 months
for
like security
8 months,
guard, like a year for like a patrol,
Apparently,
and then
yeah.
like
Apparently-
2 years for like something else.
mhm.
Apparently, out of all of the police killings in the United States, 23% of them are African American.
23.
23% are African American, which is very surprising considering how much like less of the population they really are.
Mhm.
They're not the majority at all. Like they're not even close. They're
Right.
very low amount of the population, and to have that much.
Well, if you think
Murder.
about it, only black deaths are mainly like recorded and all that.
The
Most
police
of it.
kill more than just black lives too, which just shows that they really are power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're power
You
hungry.
think
They're power hungry.
Yeah,
Power.
What do you
Yeah,
think the
exactly
best way to fix it would be?
Best way to fix it, obviously more years into it, more training,
More training.
Definitely more
and
training.
like
yeah.
maybe psychological training. You know,
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
That's
that,
true.
that would be really good. Psychological training, thinking like
Um,
test what they always think, their actions, stuff. Not physical training. Physical training could always be whenever, but
It's all about,
psychological
like-
training is the main thing. It's the part where it makes you think of the best
Yeah,
decisions.
Yeah. They should be trained to be in stressful situations because being a police.
Yeah, so they
officer
can
is very-
keep calm. Okay, they don't have to always think of the bad outcomes. They can always think of the outcomes that are good.
Yeah,
especially
more
for
probable. Instead of being, oh, what? If
But
that
it's
outcome
good. But it's
has
good to
been
think
done?
about bad outcomes too,
yeah,
because
that
what
is,
if-
but
But
Somebody-
they go too heavily
yeah,
on
they
them.
go too heavily. They stress out.
yeah.
They're just in the moment and they can't
Yeah, they need to
Because,
be able to be in stressful situations better.
because they have to mentally prepare for that, like those
I mean, that's
extremely stressful
that's what
They
the
don't-
role
they
that's
don't
what the
get
role of a
prepared.
police officer is being always in a
they-
stressful situation. And
They shouldn't learn to just like capture and stuff. They should be learned to bring down the situation, to take control of it, to make everyone more calm. When you see a police officer, you should feel calm, not stressed out.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you're like walking down the road and you see the cop and you kind of get stressed out.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
he gives you the glare. He gives you like
Yeah,
a weird glare.
It shouldn't be like that. You should feel calm when you're around a police officer.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen like an actual protest before?
Protest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
seen
I
one-
actually probably would have went
seen
to one if Corona wasn't around at this time.
I've seen when back like a long time ago. I don't know,
You know,
but a long time ago we were in Portland, coming from Idaho because we went over there to visit some friends.
Why'd you go to Portland from Idaho?
So we drive into Portland. I don't even know. That's just how my parents do it. They drive down to Oregon.
The other
They
side.
drive down through Oregon. They drive down through Oregon because we have to stop there for gas, and then we drive all the way down to Idaho. And from
Portland's
there,
all the way
when
on
we were
the
coming
other
back.
side.
When we were coming back, we were on the
Cut out.
Put out again.
highway,
Also,
and you know how the highways
wait.
are like
Half,
all
you
whatever in Oregon.
said like half and then you cut out.
I don't think you were in Portland, but you were probably in somewhere else.
Oh, okay, but I saw one of the I've seen one of the protests.
Yeah,
There were people marching down in the streets or whatever.
I saw a Portland protest. They are mostly peaceful. It's just a group of people walking.
Yeah,
down the
exactly.
street.
I never saw it.
Yeah, you never see like anybody harming another person during those.
You don't see like riots either.
Yeah,
that.
you don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big thing that a lot of people show all these riots when there's really not that many.
Yeah, it's not.
Mhm.
Honestly,
Why do you
scary.
think people just they try to blame the victim in this?
I don't know.
Why do you
mean-
think so? Like
There's a-
Republicans,
Yeah,
Republicans,
I mean,
like,
The victim, the police would have taken action if the victim wasn't like doing something, but sometimes the victim
well,
is even doing something like, harmful.
we
Yeah.
know that. Well, in my opinion, the police should not be the police should. Sorry, I have a really bad cough. Police should not be the They shouldn't be able to just have the ability. They shouldn't be killing people. It doesn't matter if the person wasn't following directions.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be killing someone
here's
because
another
of
thing,
it.
dude. Even when they kill, they don't have like a lot of conflict towards it. Like not like
Yeah.
a lot of conflict towards them, like killing another human, another person.
A lot of people like to try to throw that under the rug, like it's not a big deal that there's police out there.
I mean, yeah, if it was an unjustified kill, they should immediately go to like prison or jail or something.
They should not be.
They should, or just straight up shooting someone should have like time in jail.
Yeah.
Like for no reason, like.
Or like a probation or something like
Yeah,
that.
No,
yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
Prison. That is murder. That is like
prison. Just
Yeah,
prison.
that's just.
I mean,
That
if you shoot someone, I mean, if a police officer just shoots somebody but they don't die, they shouldn't just get put directly into jail.
Yeah,
no,
directly into
No.
jail.
because it's not murder. But if
Yeah,
they,
and
if
he
they,
should have
But
like.
if you kill
if a
somebody,
police is like unlawfully attacking a citizen, they should not have their job.
They should not have that title more. They should be stripped away from that position.
They should not. Yeah.
Yeah.
They should not keep their job after doing such a heinous act.
Yeah.
Because they're especially like abusing their power, like
If a doctor goes around and like ruins all of their patients' lives, they're gonna get arrested. But
Yeah,
the police can do that, and they don't.
Yeah, well, police have too much power. It's so corrupt.
They
Right?
do.
Yeah, it's corrupt
Yeah.
with
Well,
people.
still we're leading away from the question. Why do you think people tend to justify the police killings?
Justify?
They
Maybe because they're also scared and they think that's the right decision to. Yeah. Maybe they think that's the right decision when it's. In my
When it's
opinion,
not.
it's not. In my opinion, it's not. But they in their eyes, they see it as the right decision because maybe they're scared. Maybe they got attacked by a black person before. Who knows?
maybe they're just maybe they're
Maybe they're like-
maybe they don't have one.
Maybe they what?
Maybe they just don't have one.
I mean, yeah,
Maybe they don't have a reason.
that could also be a reason. They're just like siding with the cops, because they're cops. But
because it might be like a form of racism.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's probably just racism or something.
So yeah, what's everyone else's points of view on this protest going on?
I think I've been pretty obvious that I'm pro Black Lives Matter.
I'm pro.
I'm
for it,
pro.
man.
I'm definitely pro.
Yeah. There just has to be like more people, for it instead of against it. My eyes.
Why would you want to be against something that like they're human?
That improves like, the whole world, the whole global society. I don't know why anyone would go against that.
I know, like what goes through some a racist's head saying that, wow, black people aren't the same as white people. Like, what is that? Like, what? That doesn't like
that doesn't
connect
make
me.
sense.
Makes
Not
no
a lot
sense.
of white people aren't the same as other white people too. Like what?
Exactly. So
Sure.
shouldn't
Like-
they be against them too? Like what? It's honestly very confusing these
It's
times.
confusing. Yeah. All right.
It really is.
Like,
But should,
yeah. You go. You can go.
yeah, it's really like messed up because like how people like think we're like in the 21st century and racism has been an issue since like the Civil War and all that.
Yeah.
And it's
Hey, Jordan.
and racism is like one of like the most biggest disruption.
Yeah.
But multiple like activists and multiple like leaders don't really want to get into like Black Lives Matter because they don't really want to like get in trouble or have like any consequences for supporting it. Because there's many people out there that are against it.
Yeah, of course.
About the murals and all that.
Yeah, it's always two sides of everything. All the time,
Mhm.
no matter what. All right. Well, before
Because
we say, wait, no, keep going.
Even the KKK is still going strong to this day. Like it's
That is
Yeah,
scary.
sad.
that's
How
actually
they're-
scary right there.
we need some basic human decency for each other. Like we shouldn't like focus on the hate instead of like the love and supporting each other. But now I'm ready to the police have to use excessive force and call these outrages of people making protests. It's really sad though.
Yeah,
It's a really sad topic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really upsetting to hear about the deaths of people and injustices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Before we say our farewells, does anyone else wanna talk about something before we end this?
No, not really.
No.
No. No one else has anything to say.
It was good. For some mayors, it was a good thing for them making like Black Lives Matter murals. But there were some like people that they're like really bad and decided to like vandalize.
Vandalize. Okay. What about you, Josh? You thinking of something to say?
No, not really. I don't have
No?
anything else to say. I think I've said everything I needed to say.
Okay. And then Omar and then Jory, you guys are good. Cause I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I've presented all my evidence that I've shown, my sources and everything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this will be the end of this podcast, this Discord podcast about the BLM protest. I hope everyone watching this enjoys what we have said. Yeah. And I'll see you guys in the next podcast.